truly, sitting right here on the set, getting set to chat with this man, Ian Rapoport. Then Caleb Downs sits here, and then I run out the building, and then our good friend Andrew Siciliano sits down here and finishes the show with TJ and Chris Brockman. And then I'll start the NFL Network coverage that you're part of as well. Getting ready to roll with the on-field drills with the defenders, sir.
Yeah, I am irrationally excited about this every year. I mean, Combine's the best.
Right.
Now, I don't get to, really watch it on TV because I'm usually walking around talking to people.
Right.
But it's the draft is the best. The Combine is, I know Senior Bowl, but Combine really feels like the start of it.
Right.
And there's no one else who does it. And it is the best. I cannot wait.
Right.
And you and DJ do an amazing job.
Well, and I love, throwing you in the mix because everything that we're talking about right now leads to the next 3 weeks of activity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a puzzle piece that the next 3 weeks of activity of franchise tag decisions on Tuesday with a deadline. Then, 8 days after that is when the new league year begins with a window opening up, right?
Right.
And then that's what happens there affects decisions made at the draft. It's all one big, huge puzzle piece, and that's what starts right now.
Right, and so, when I'll be walking around here and people say, hey, what's going on? What are you hearing? And I'm like, I don't know, man, all the things. And that's what this week is like. It's who do I run into? Who do I hear? What do I hear? Everyone's trying to find out info. Every free agent's going to make a lot of money. All the prices are crazy. Then you get home and you're like, all right, what's the real price? It's who could be traded? Who could be released? What does this mean for who they're going to end up drafting? It really is, there's always, free agency is great, and I know for fans it's, literally amazing.
Yes.
But there is always relief when it's over because it's all right, I have a sense for what the big picture looks like.
Yes.
Now we can get into the draft and see, all right, what's kind of the next phase?
Yes, settle into all that business. And plus, you never know when news is going to hit. Mike Hoskins, my coordinating producer during the show open of our third hour, got in my ear. And I guess when I was, selling soap for my show, reading the read, there was video. I guess they found our cameras caught you on your phone showing something to Tom Pelissero and him going,
I'll tell you exactly what that is. It's not news, but there is a party that I was invited to tonight that I would like my good friend Tom to join me at.
Is that what that was?
Might be mutually beneficial.
Okay. Brockman is now sitting over there going,
Brockman is not invited.
+2, nope. TJ's +3.
TJ can come.
Here's the deal. I was able to see what it is. Jordan Schultz is having a party at a Starbucks, and he's
paying for the whole thing himself.
Hey, you want a coffee?
So I've been to that Starbucks at the JW.
You have? You've been back?
I was there. That's where I came from.
Oh,
it's a great meeting spot for, you run into people. Teams and agents will have to cross over from one meeting to another, so they go there. And so people are like, "Wow, you're back!" And I'm like, "Where did you think I was gonna go?" It's literally, I like coffee. They have little sandwiches there.
Yeah.
Where else would I be?
Just if you're gonna have the Thrilla and Vanilla Part 2. You got to make sure I'm there I got to be there for that.
I mean, you would have said that last time, except I had Garofalo there, and all he did was take pictures. I was like, hey, he's like, oh, well, I would have jumped in. I'm like, sure, after you took the picture, sent it to literally everyone. Couldn't have sent it to more people. So when they're like, wow, can't believe there's a picture. I'm like, I can't believe it took this long because Mike sent it to every single person in his phone.
You should have stepped in.
He was more busy taking pictures. Ridiculous.
All right. So the story of this combine is what? What is it right now? What's everyone want to know from you?
Combine-wise specifically,
yes, sir.
Obviously Fernando Mendoza is, I think everyone believes, going to be the number one overall pick. What happens after, I think, is interesting. Draft will be really interesting. Some I know is really not a flashpoint quarterback like last year with Shador.
Yes, sir.
But going to be a pretty good draft. The story of the other stuff at the Combine is really where all the quarterbacks going.
Yes, sir.
We are going to have a situation I can never remember. So,
really?
2 years ago, Russell Wilson was cut by the Broncos and signed to the Steelers for $1 million or whatever it was. A starting quarterback who was due the minimum. And we were all like, this is crazy. This never happens. We could have 5 of them this year. Seriously. Tua, if he gets released. Kyler, if he gets released. Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, who already is making $10 million this year from the Falcons, so everything else is offset unless he gets over 10, so he could play for the minimum. It's a lot of starting quarterbacks who could be cut at any moment. So, instead of waiting till free agency, we could be talking Tua, Kyler, all those guys next week, not 2 weeks.
Right.
Like,
to what do we owe this? Is it because the cap keeps getting bigger? So eating this type of money, even though it is still highly significant, it is more doable every passing year because the cap gets bigger? Because why are we in a situation where is it just an outlier, or is this becoming something that might be a trend?
I don't think it's an outlier. If you have a guy, like you have a starting quarterback who you drafted, and there comes a point where it's either pay him or not. And almost always the choice is pay him. Because if you don't pay him, you got to go find another one, right? And it's like every quarterback discussion, even with the Vikings, it's like, oh, are they going to, replace JJ? It's like, well, they're not going to replace him. They're going to add, because if you, you have to find someone else. So everyone decides to pay. And what happens is, and at least in these cases, you pay these guys, then you're like, okay, well, this is not my guy anymore, and now you have no choice. So I think it's more teams feeling the need to pay their quarterbacks, whether they really merit those deals or not, and then having to deal with the fallout.
What about Murray? Why would the Cardinals be divorcing Kyler Murray? I haven't really heard a solid story on this.
Here's the argument, and I would say this. I believe he'll get released. I don't know it for sure. So
right.
I'm not saying but here's the argument to keep him, right? The argument to keep him is he's still a good quarterback.
Yes.
You're already paying him $40-something million. He's due $20 million next year if he's on the roster. So that's guaranteed.
If he's on the roster this year or on the roster?
If he's on the roster this year, he's guaranteed 20 next year.
Okay.
That's why a release is likely for that money. But let's say you don't. Well, then you just deal with the $20 million later and you have your starting quarterback. And they have a new system. They have a new coach. There's a possibility that Michael Flohr says, I'm just going to keep this guy. The reason why you move on is last year was a lot. He got injured. It was, I think, probably worse than people thought, took longer than people thought. They basically benched him for Jacoby Brissett, even though he was also kind of come back from an injury. They were like, Jacoby's our guy now. And I don't know how many quarterbacks will want to go back in the building after that. Those are the arguments on both sides.
But before he got hurt is when he made that cryptic statement about the facilities that were being announced coming, where he said, if I'm going to be here. That was before he got hurt. And so something was already up.
They were not good. I mean, I think he would like to be in a place that's not rebuilding. And actually, I sort of think sneakily the Cardinals have some talent. They really do. I could see if they get, Malik Willis, I don't know, a really viable starting quarterback.
Right.
They could be kind of good. They got talent, but I just don't know. I think Kyler's, you reach a point within an organization where you're like, I don't think it's going to happen. I would like something new.
Okay. And is Tua that way with Miami right now?
Oh, yeah. I think, he said it. Don't take my word. Tua said, in his locker room cleanout day was basically do you think you would benefit from a fresh start? And he was like, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
Talk. Yeah.
But now there's a new regime, and that just doesn't. Listen, both Monty Ossenfort and John Eric Sullivan, one at a podium and the latter right in the chair from which you're sitting, was all options on the table, which means it's over. At least that's the way I took it.
Well, and I think both those GMs didn't do the deals that they're now trying to get out from,
right.
Which gives them the sort of
flexibility. The flexibility to say, I'm out. Right. I'm cleaning up on aisle predecessor. Right. So where give me spots that you think these teams that a team would go and hire either one of these guys and say, you're our starter. There's no competition. Okay. They're not coming in as a backup.
All right.
You're the starter.
Oh, well, that makes it harder.
Okay.
Right? Because I
don't
know that there's the Jets would be one. I'd have to look at the list. Jets would be one, I know.
Right.
And they can spend a little bit. So and then I should also say Derek Carr potentially in the mix as well.
Yeah, what's the scoop there?
He's property of the Saints, so they would have to trade him. It wouldn't be much, but I think they could get some draft pick compensation.
Okay.
He's 34.
Yeah. Yeah.
and younger than I thought.
Right.
His shoulder, which he thought was going to be probably done forever, is not. Didn't have surgery, but I think he's in a good place. So he's kind of in the mix for starting quarterback as well. So, like, you have the Dolphins, you have the Cardinals. The Raiders will need a sort of bridge guy, more of like the Russell Wilson mold to help Fernando Mendoza.
But Tua and Kyler won. I mean, you're going to get them, and I certainly Kyler, right?
Well, but like
Tua with the Jets. I mean, that doesn't seem to make much sense. To be honest,
there's not a lot of places to go where you're like, all right, you're the starter. You're good. Malik Willis will probably get one.
If you're going to the Jets, you've seen the Jets are prepping the battleships for next year's draft.
Sure.
They have the picks.
A lot of that going around.
There's a lot of that going around. So you got to also look at, an opportunity and take it, but you also know it might just be you're bridging. You are bridging.
But that's okay, though, because let's say I'm not saying it's to the Jets, but let's say it is.
Okay.
Well, like, he's only going to sign a one-year deal for nothing because he's already getting paid by the Dolphins. So, like, they can use you and you can use them. Go out, play well. However many games you win. Jets have plenty of picks. So they can get up and get whoever quarterback they want next year. Win as many games you can with Tua.
Right.
If he rebuilds his stock, then he could be a starter for someone else next year. Same with Kyler. Same thing.
Right. Who are, in the few minutes I have left with you here, sir, franchise tag from let's talk about it. Is Pickens one of them? Breece Hall one
Pickens
of them?
Breece Hall, my guess would be more transition tag than franchise tag.
Okay.
And Kyle Pitts, we already know. I don't know that there's going to be that many more. The Colts have a situation where they're either going to sign Daniel Jones to a long-term deal or they're going to franchise tag him. If they franchise tag him, then Alec Pierce is probably gone. And that's probably the most interesting, dramatic one.
Okay.
Because you got to keep your quarterback. Because if Daniel Jones is out there, that's a real starting quarterback for somebody. So the Colts got to keep him, and then Alec Pierce probably becomes receiver number one in free agency, set to make a lot of money.
That you said get ready for Pierce to make a heck of a lot more money than you would think.
He's going to be. Those are the best things in free agency, right? Well, best is when I break it.
Nice.
Just be clear.
Instead of
me and Tom, also good.
Yeah, your Avenger friend.
Yep, my Avenger friend. Yep. But the guys who, it's hard to be a free agent. It's really hard. You got to not sign a deal that seems kind of good.
Right.
Lightning has to strike to get a great player to free agency.
Yes, sir.
And those guys who get to cash in, it's the coolest. It is life-changing money, and it is the coolest. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing some of that this year.
Okay. And what's the one aspect? Give me a free agency surprise that we're not thinking of right now.
No God.
What do you got?
I do think there'll be a bunch of trades.
You do?
A lot of trades.
For involving who?
Involving, there's 10 new coaches. And so usually we see trades like we did today where you have a new regime and a new scheme.
Yes.
And they're like, all right, you have this guy, he doesn't really fit. You have this guy, he doesn't really fit. Let's just trade. And
similar to what we just saw with the Titans and the Jets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Right. And, it's like you try to find guys that fit. So 10 new coaches means a lot of players will probably get traded, and there's not that many good free agents. So trades will probably be the market.
Okay. All right. Let's send you along because, I'm just only a few minutes behind you. I don't want.
Yeah, you got to come too.
I know. I don't want the producers to say, wait a minute. 1/3 of our on-air staff for the 5-hour combine coverage is sitting in the convention center right now.
To be fair, they know where you are. They can just turn it on.
And they know where you are right now, too. Okay, so let's go to work, shall we?
Right.
I got Caleb Downs first, but thank you for being here, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Sorry I crashed your and Tom's hangout.